Solar weather update for Wednesday, November 30th, and this will cover through Friday, December the 2nd. First, the A1A, and you can see on about 10 o'clock there, as well as about 8:30, there are some bright spots coming back around finally. That's more sunspots, finally giving our SFI a little push. We have a good push already today, but more should be coming by Saturday at the very latest. I think actually the sunspot region's coming, especially there at 8:30 will hit by Friday, and the ones at 10 o'clock most likely by Saturday. Look at those on the left side. You can see the sunspot regions coming. There's only one sunspot facing Earth right now, and it's giving us quite a bit of activity to keep our SFIs up. Last 3 days of magnetosphere view of the sun, taking away all the brightness, just allowing the sunspots to be on the front of the sun towards Earth. You can see the last 3 days and how things have moved, leaving us only 3152. Causing us some ionization here. So really, this is pretty good considering only one sunspot. We've had a bump in our solar flare detection over the last 3 days, now up to a sea level baseline. I expect SFIs to slowly increase through Friday, and I believe Saturday we'll get a big bump. We'll take a look at those SFIs now. Currently 108 on your solar flux index. That is up 1 from yesterday. Smooth sunspot numbers down 27, now at 25. Area numbers at 100. It's down 70 from yesterday. The KP index, and this has been a problem the last 4 days in amateur radio and shortwave. High noise floors, a very high KP index. That continues today as well. We're in a G1 storm condition today and tomorrow, with Friday finally going down to a G0 condition and about a KP4 for noise floors. We'll see what that looks like in just a moment. From Space Weather Live, currently showing a KP5 as of 1918 UTC. That's pretty loud for noise floors. And take a look here at the solar wind. It is really intense today. 713.8 kilometers per second. That's a very high solar wind component going towards Earth. BZ latitude, it just gets worse, doesn't it? BZ minus 5.15 south right now. Expect some QSB on the shortwave and amateur HF bands today. Of course, when we get the KP index rise, we also get a aurora that also tends to go south. So here's a look at the aurora borealis right now and the aurora australis. Possible calls being made tonight in areas that are in the middle portions of the provinces of Canada. And then towards Alaska, most of Alaska will have aurora tonight. Looks like a great night for working the aurora if you're in these locations. The current QRZ conditions, SFI 108, sunspot number is 12, A index way up at 25, and that's due to that really high solar wind. K index is at 3. It's really not 3. It currently is at 5. So that would be a minor storm, and the HF conditions here would actually be much worse than what they show. Let's take a look at MUFs just to get a good idea. Earlier today, towards Europe, you can see the 30 megahertz band was really south, and that's what we've seen creeping south the last 2 weeks. And again, today, you're seeing areas like Spain and Italy, Greece, they're getting 10 meters, but up near the northern parts of the UK and near the northern parts of Sweden and Norway, Denmark, they're not getting 10 meters. So 10 meters still going south. It's going south here in North America as well. This is the current maximum usable frequency map. Looking towards Alaska, about 11 megahertz there near Nome. Also, U.S., we're taking, look at that. There's a nice 40 megahertz in Hawaii right now. Beautiful in the tropical islands of Hawaii. 32 as well in Southern California. 28 in the Bitterroot Range of Montana. 32 if you're in Denver. And then you go towards Brownsville. There's 12 meters, 27 megahertz around Brownsville. 28 just barely on the 10-meter band in Pensacola. 33 if you're up near the Great Lakes. 31 New England. 29 near Washington, D.C. South America, for the most part, 10 meters until you get way south, and that's where it kind of divides itself away. This has been something that has happened just this week. Most of South America has been on 10 meters now for quite a while, but now we're seeing the 25 megahertz band start to go into the southern portion, and even 21 megahertz in the very southern tip there of the continent of South America. Heading towards Europe, you'll be on 40 meters for the most part tonight. Definitely good conditions, except for some high noise floors. We'll be putting up with those at least for a couple of days. Heading towards Africa, 14 megahertz currently at nighttime there in Cape Town, and good conditions throughout Europe to work the 40-meter band. Heading towards the north, there are those numbers. The highest of all of them, 9 megahertz. They're in the southern part of Spain and Italy and Greece, and even in Jerusalem, right about 8 megahertz, middle of the night, what you'd expect. Here in the States, the 10-meter band just about the U.S.-Canadian border, maybe just a little north of that. Here's the southern hemisphere maximum usable frequencies, and towards the far east, you can see that Japan getting ready for 10 meters, definitely beautiful conditions. Look how tightly wound all of those maximum usable frequency waves are coming towards both Japan, Australia, and New Zealand. New Zealand, North Island, currently on 21 megahertz. They'll be on 10 megahertz within, I'd say, the next hour and a half. But right now, great conditions, 14 megahertz right now in Sydney. And it's a beautiful morning there, isn't it? 13 megahertz if you're in Tasmania. And towards the north, you get towards Darwin, 7 megahertz. That's pretty low for them in the middle of the night. And of course, nighttime in Perth at 9 megahertz as well. Your ham and shortwave forecast for today, powered by ICOM. I come for the love of ham radio. SFIs to slowly increase. That's what we've been waiting to hear through Friday. Noise floors S2 to S3. They should drop to S1, S2 by Friday. Voice bands, Northern Hemisphere, 20, 17, 15, 12, and 10 will be south of about 50 degrees north. 12 is going to work to you about 55 degrees north and going south. And then from there, if you're in the northern part of, say, Canada, the northern countries of Scandinavia, the northern part of Europe, you're going to probably just get 20, 17, and 15. It's just the way the 10-meter band is working right now, and the 12-meter band following it as well. Mid-latitudes, tropic to tropic, 20, 17, 15, 12, and 10. If you're in the southern hemisphere, great conditions, but that 10-meter band sliding a little bit north of the last couple of days, you're probably going to get 10 meters just about to close to 50 degrees south in the southern hemisphere. So if you're in that area, 20, 17, 15, 12, and 10, south of about 50 degrees south, you're going to lose the 12-meter band and 10-meter band. Data modes should be okay, 30 to 10 meters in the north, mid, and south latitudes. CB radio skip, there'll be some openings in the northern hemisphere, wide open in the mid latitudes and the southern hemisphere as well. Nighttime, amateur radio bands, high noise floors. Keep your headphones down. You're going to have some loud noise there, some high noise on 40 and 80 tonight for sure. S2 to S3, possibly a little higher today and tomorrow as well. They should drop hopefully to S1, S2 at times by Friday. Nighttime, amateur radio band openings of 160, 80, 60, 40, 30. And your best DX is going to be that maximum usable frequency at sunset, and then work your lower bands till you get to 40 and 80 meters overnight. Daytime shortwave, increasing SFIs mean better reception coming, but high static on the bands. Watch for high static today, tomorrow, and dropping Friday. S2 to S3 through Friday, and hopefully going to drop down to S1, S2 sometime by late Friday. Shortwave band daytime, 31, 25, 22, 19, 15, and the 13-meter band. Nighttime shortwave, high noise floors, S2 to S3. They'll drop to S1, S2 hopefully by late Friday. Your nighttime shortwave, 120, 90, 75, and 60, 49, 41, 31, 25, 22, and the 19-meter band open in the southern hemisphere for about 2.5 hours after sunset, and the signals will fade away. Some good ionization in the atmosphere, and thankfully some better SFIs are coming. That just has to be a waiting game, and hopefully all the noise we have in the bands also are going to taper down a little bit when we get that solar wind to calm down. A lot of things going on. A high solar wind, a high A index, and we've got a lot of QSV because of a south-pointed BZ latitude today. There's always VHF and UHF, right? Thanks for watching this Ham Radio Live weather segment. I'll do my best to come back with a modified version of the Ham Radio Live show for you in just a moment. Thank you to all the people who've come to watch this, and a special shout out to Mike and Andre. Haven't seen you guys for a while. It's great to see you today. Thanks, guys. Bye, everybody. Have a great day.